If you're doing well in Italy, meaning if you can save more than $1,000 a month in Italy, considering that there will also be a 13th and 14th month salary, I don't think it's really worth it. So guys, we're here at the Rare Street Cafe in Yonam. Look at this amazing place. The cappuccino has arrived. Guys, along with this awesome dessert, berries, it's really cool. Really, really cool. And there's also a buffalo watching me, so that's a bit unsettling. There's a buffalo staring at me. Maybe I'll show it to you. So it's quite unsettling to be doing this, especially since I'm in a public cafe. I'm filming by myself at a table while sipping on a cappuccino, which is really cool. I showed you the shot and with an awesome berry dessert. Thank you. Let's taste it thoroughly. Really savor it, truly savor it, deeply enjoy it. So we're gathered here today to discuss something quite significant, very significant, extremely important. As many of you have been persistently asking me, consistently asking, frequently inquiring in various videos, is it truly worth it, genuinely worth it, absolutely worth it, or not? Apologies in the meantime. I'm getting a bit sidetracked, slightly sidetracked, momentarily distracted. Is it genuinely worth considering, truly worth considering, seriously worth contemplating a move to Switzerland or not? So the answer to the question is that it really depends on a lot of things. If you come here, then we can talk. I'll give you the example of a regular employee, a normal worker, someone who would earn $1,400 or $1,500 like a cook. I can give you the example of a cook because being a cook, it's easier for me to talk about it compared to other job sectors where I have no idea. So it definitely depends on the canton, it depends on which area you go to, it depends on the job sector. Okay, let's take an example. Basse, you are in Italy, you work with $1,500 per month. Got it, okay. Is it worth moving here or not? So, it's a very broad and complicated discussion. If you work in the restaurant industry, so that's already a given. You don't have many friends, many connections, or anyway, you're free to do, to go, to undo. In my opinion, yes. You gain new experiences and grow, you acquire knowledge. Here they talk extensively about cuisines and various techniques about those things. They do fusion dishes. Clearly you won't be making authentic Italian culinary dishes because authentic Italian culinary dishes are only made in Italy. Like all the cuisines in the world, the real ones are made in their country of birth and origin. Here it's a bit different. Beyond that, I want to help you understand this thing. So first of all, if you don't have patience, this is not the place for you. The Germans are really... I'm currently in German-speaking Switzerland. So, to give you an example here, they are really picky. You can't do something that doesn't resonate with you, that doesn't speak to you. So if you don't have patience, just forget it. Then if you own a house, things change. Because here you'll have to rent and pay rent. So I would definitely say it's worth it for you. If you earn more than $1,500, especially if you maybe share it, you can stay there. I came here and I'm also lucky because I work in a really terrible place. Without organization, a new place, etc. But I work 5 days. You might say, everyone works 5 days. It's not that straightforward. Guys, in Italy, in the restaurant industry, you work 6 days and earn $1,500. 16. Earning over $1,600 or $1,700 is lucky. Working 5 days is worth it. So if you want to work 5 days, yes, it's worth it for you to come here. In terms of working hours, you work 8.5 hours with a half-hour break. So that's 9 hours in total. But you work 5 days. I have a salary, for example, of $4,500, okay? Gross, not net. Be careful, those salaries are all gross. So when you see the job postings, know that those are gross amounts and you have to deduct 18% for taxes. So it comes to about $3,600. Actually, it can be that much, not more, but let's say $3,600. For convenience, then you have 300 euros. If you are young, for health, for medical expenses, okay, mandatory, so they are also retroactive. So from the first day you officially enter Switzerland, you have to pay at least 300 euros for mandatory health expenses. You absolutely need to have it. Otherwise, no one will hire you and you can't live and work here for more than 3 months. Besides that, you will definitely have gas expenses. In this case, I spend 300 euros on gas because I go back to Italy 2 or 3 times a month. Having 2 days off and we're already at 3,000, then you need a place to live, which is really not easy to find here. Especially if you've been working for less than 3 months. So at the beginning, you'll get a shared apartment, a room in a few words. I pay for it. 800, but let's say, can you manage to get a small studio of 30, 40 square meters? Here it will cost you at least around 1,200, so you're practically already down to 1,800 euros. If you work in the restaurant industry like me, you can eat at your workplace pretty much every day except for 2 days. You're all set. Let's take off 300 euros for car insurance. Okay, because you have to pay that regardless of whether you're in Italy or not. Just being generous with the monthly amount. I pay that much, but I know there are people who pay even less. But say insurance and other expenses are 300 euros and you have left one fund. If you also need to eat 7 days a week, I mean for 30 days a month, you basically need at least 400, 500 euros. What you have left at the end of the month is 1,000 euros, a nutshell. 1,000 euros that you can manage to save up. Plus here there's the 13th month, so 13th salary in December and you'll receive 3,600 euro politics. So in the worst case scenario, if you have saved up 12,000 euros plus about 15,000 euros, so do the math and know that by cutting back and saving, in the worst case scenario, you will manage to save about 15,000 a year euros. Okay, that's it. If you in Italy can put aside more than 15,000, in my opinion, it's absolutely not worth coming here. This is, of course, assuming you don't get sick or have any issues, because if you do get sick and have problems, you can pretty much forget about that money. Okay. This, in a nutshell, is the truth about working in Switzerland. Besides that, you work here, there's no other option. What a hassle. You mind your own business and stuff like that. They even keep an eye on you when you go to the bathroom. Eating out, you absolutely can't eat out 7 days a week, but that's the same in Italy. So let's say the issues are more or less the same. So in my opinion, it's worth coming here if you're an average worker. Only if you really can't make ends meet in Italy. Why? Don't you own a house? Do you have to pay for the car? Do you have to pay rent? So yes, if you're in a studio apartment, you still can't make ends meet in your budget. You can't save anything at all. Just know that here, unfortunately, you can absolutely save at least 800 euros as long as you don't get sick. Forget it. Public healthcare here is all completely paid by you and not by the government. In a nutshell, so in Italy, you might be able to save a little if you have some issues. Yes, clearly, if you need to have procedures that cost over 2,500 euros, they're covered by insurance. Even there, it's in percentage, so not completely, not exactly 100%. Definitely in northern Italy, you can find better jobs, well paid. So it makes sense to stay there. Then it depends, for example, if you have investments, like 50 or 100,000 euros in investments in the stock market, ETFs, crypto, whatever you want. In Italy, you need to know that you have to pay 26% on capital gains. Okay. So everything you earn from that money, you have to pay 26% in taxes. Here, for example, it's not like that. So if you have large sums invested, it's worth coming here because you practically save on taxes. The capital gains here are zero. Everything that your money generates for you is yours, as it should be, by the way. In fact, I don't understand all these taxes at the Italian level. Then when it comes to groceries, you can easily try to save and spend much less than 500 euros a month. I set it up quite generously, counting also 2-3 outings, 4 dinners out. So just know that here, it's hard to eat for less than 25 euros. Okay, if you want something nicer, like a drink, water, wine, at least 50 euros per person, you have to spend. But if you want, you can manage with just 300. Just go to the classic discount stores like you would in Italy, Lidl, etc., etc. Buy stuff at 50% off that expires in 1 to 2 days. Sometimes, often, they put stuff on sale at 50% off that expires in 2 to 3 months. It depends on how much they have in stock. Maybe it's not visible or they want to get rid of it. Anyway, it's basic. Guys, if you work 6 days to earn 500, in Italy, you come here because you want to work 5 days and save a little. Yeah, it makes sense. But it's not like you come here and you're officially rich. It doesn't work that way. For sure, if you want to move here, you pay 50 euros a year for the expressway, for the highway, and you're all set. In Italy, for any travel, you have to pay per trip, and you know that very well. If you move around a lot, it really costs you a lot. You pay about half for car insurance, but it depends. For my car here, I pay half. In Italy, I pay $3,000. I pay for my car here. Half. In Italy, I pay 3,000 euros for a Toyota Corolla. So it's not just a cheap car, it's because it's hybrid, and the insurance is directly on me, not on my mom. Here, I would pay 1,500. So even there, I'm saving money. How much would I pay here? 500. So even there, I'm saving money. With groceries, you can manage quite well. I mean, there are also sandwiches for 2 to 3 euros, and even 1.50 euros. And then there are salads that cost 8 euros, the ones made by the supermarkets. Then it depends. If you go to get meat and fish, unfortunately, here it is very expensive because most of it is imported, or there's just not much of it. So there's a lot of demand and the price is really high. If you need to go out to eat, just know that prices start at 20 euros. I just got a cappuccino and a brioche that's quite filling. This is basically a lunch. It'll be 500 grams of a huge berry roll, which is really delicious, by the way. This place is great for quality, and I paid €5 for a cappuccino plus a roll. I'll probably pay for that about €6-7, so a total of €12-13. And I had breakfast, just to let you know. If you wanted to eat out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, obviously the expenses go up. Then you need to figure out a bit where you want to go. If you go to cheaper places, okay, you can manage with 50-60 euros. By the way, a video will be released on this topic. The video is this one here. Go and get it. And if it hasn't come out yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. So when it comes out, you'll be able to catch it. Of course, then we'll also talk a bit about money. To move to Switzerland, you need at least 7,000 euros in capital. So it doesn't make sense to move if you don't already have that in the bank, because you'll need to cover some expenses up front, and that's 7,000 euros. It's the minimum that I think you'll spend in the first 3 months to settle down here. Let me give you a small example. In certain cases, you need to pay 2 months rent as a deposit plus 1 month's rent to cover the first payment. So if the house costs, for example, 1,500, you basically have to pay 1,500 for the house up front. Then there are other expenses that we'll go into more detail about in the upcoming videos. It's definitely something that, unlike in Italy, works really well. Here are the documents. So do you need anything? It arrives in 2 or 3 weeks. In Italy, it took 3 or 4 months. I mean, for citizenship, I waited 6 years to say that, so here they are very, very fast and efficient. In the same way, the police are efficient here. That freedom you have in Italy to tell someone to screw off on the street at any moment without repercussions, to speed, to go over the limit of 100 or the limit of 30, maybe 80 for a stretch, and knowing that nothing really happens. Nothing, yeah, I don't do it often. But it has happened from time to time here. It's serious trouble. If you get caught, the police will catch you and you'll have your license revoked. And it's really bad news, a huge fine, a ticket. Here, it's not 300 euros. We're talking 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 month salary. Is there a yes or no answer? It depends on your situation. If you couldn't make it to the end of the month in Italy, working 6 days a week, you couldn't save anything because there was rent to pay, a car to pay for, insurance, and you were still on your own. So in my opinion, it's worth moving to Switzerland and trying to build something here. Then there's a lot of meritocracy here. So over time, at first, they are very skeptical, but over time, they give you meritocracy. There's the possibility of getting a raise. There's the possibility of making improvements. There is the possibility of getting help from the government, just like in Italy. It's here they truly give you them, not pretend to give them. Then they take it back with taxation, with 730. If you're doing well in Italy, meaning if you can save more than 1,000 euros a month in Italy, considering that there will also be a 13th and 14th month, in my opinion, it's not really worth it. You would essentially only save on things like driving, so you would pay less for the highway, you would pay less for insurance, and also on other related expenses such as fuel costs, maintenance, and repairs. But it is not worth making a transfer, considering that making a transfer, you basically go to a new place. So you won't have friends anymore, you won't have family, and so on. Then we're lucky because it's 3 hours. And I'm in Milan having 2 days off. I can do it easily. I don't have all these great friends, so I'm interested in seeing relatively few people. I'm single, so there are no problems. Here, be careful, there's a small difference, just like in Italy. From that point of view, if you are in a couple, it makes a lot more sense because a 50 square meter apartment, instead of paying 1,200 euros, if you're alone, you pay half. So it absolutely makes sense for you. Set aside double the money. Just like in Italy, here you would save, let's say, 1,200 euros as a couple. But here you would save 2,500, for example, 3,000 euros as a couple, which isn't bad at all. If, especially maybe in the future, you want to return to Italy or move to another country that's much cheaper, are you saving up your little nest egg? And then you can go easily. But be careful, if you have a child, you're in trouble, because here, just like in Italy, but here mainly, it really costs a lot to have a child, really. Really a lot. Daycares, schools, healthcare, it costs a lot. Often, even mothers, Swiss, they quit their jobs and stay home to take care of the kids because what they earn at work would all go away. Basically, when it comes to raising a child, at this point, it doesn't make sense. It's better to raise it yourself. At least you raise it the way you want, not that someone else raises it for you. All right, guys, this is a general video about what it's like in Switzerland, etc., etc. From this video, I could then make more segmented ones on specific topics. So, tell me what interests you and what kind of videos you would like to know about. For example, would you like to have more information about work? Would you like to have more information about expenses? Would you like to have more information about lifestyle, the cost of living? All of these can easily be made into videos. What I can do are themed videos on what it's like to live in Switzerland at the moment. There will be others who are already here, for example. I'll show you some prices from Lidl. I'll show you how much it costs to eat. 24 hours out in Switzerland. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and other themed videos about cars, gyms, etc., etc. All right? That's all for this video. I thank you, I say goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video about Switzerland. Make sure I see you present and active in the comments. Give it a like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell because many more will be coming out very soon. Hi.